Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another video of Green Square Talks Battlebots. Co-hosting here today, Civilian Arcs at the upper right, Pory's at the lower right, and you know who I am and stuff, so yeah, how's it going,
Green?
both of you?
What is green? Okay.
We're good. We're good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, and stuff, as the college basketball team advanced today, and lots of fun stuff, so yeah, it's been a pretty good day, so yeah, on this one we have the
What? Pory.
In this one, we have the episode 11 review.
Come
So,
on, man.
this episode of Battlebots featured the left side of the bracket for the top 32, all 9 fights, including
Okay.
the 2 that were YouTube exclusive, and which we do plan to discuss both of those,
Okay, he's back.
and it'll be a good time. So, yeah, and then next week will be the right side of the bracket, and then following that, we'll have and then the episode following that will be the top 16, as you probably know. So, yeah, I think we probably got this one covered. Let's go ahead and get on to the first matchup. Wish I could have found a better image, but here is the fight that busted my bracket and stuff. We have Shatter and Riptide, and I gotta say this fight ended a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. Because we know both of these robots are hard hitters. They both have some solid durability, and yeah, that's kind of why I expected this fight to last a bit longer than it actually did. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go ahead and bring the floor to Pory and Civilian. What do you two got on this fight?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Shatter was at the bottom. I mean, that's an interesting factoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Riptide did a very good job here. They were just really aggressive. Didn't let Shatter get an inch in, and it's a bummer because I love Shatter, but good job, Riptide.
Yeah, my bracket was perfectly fine on this fight. I had Riptide winning, so I got points off of that. So yeah, I'm really impressed by just the aggression of Riptide in that fight. Did really well. Impressed by the driving. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Shatter's strategy. They came in with a new hammer design, the new rust. I shouldn't say new hammer design, and because they came with new Rusty, basically the same hammer type as old Rusty, which was bent after the Lockjaw fight. But yeah, basically they built it so that way it could take hits from spinners a little more effectively. And yeah, they did land a few good hits, but I'm guessing Riptide added a bunch of top armor to the top of their robot, and they took the hits really well, and then just came at Shatter and just sent them flying with that drum spinner. Like we've known that drum spinner hits hard, but yeah, it did a crazy amount of damage, and the fact that it took out such a durable robot like Shatter that quickly absolutely stunned me. So, yeah, so I think that probably about covers it. Riptide will advance to the next round, where they'll take on the winner of Uppercut and Huge, which we're going to discuss in the next step, and then, well, not the next fight, but later in this podcast. So, anything else on this one, or should we go ahead and get on to fight number 2?
Now this fight busted my bracket hard.
Yep, we now have the fight that busted Civilian Arc's bracket. I wish I had a better image for this fight and the last fight, but this was the best I could find. So yeah, check out that QR code on the bottom of Hypershock and stuff.
Green,
So
were you able to scan? Were you able to scan it this time?
well, those Scorpios, but
Oh yeah, that's right.
unfortunately, I actually did have the opportunity, but I didn't take it for Scorpios because Scorpios had that. What I'm guessing was that same QR code onto the cart that they push Scorpios onto the battle box on and stuff. If you kind of get my drift with that, but
Yeah.
anyway, this fight, which seems to be one of the more discussed fights, it's this episode as apparently there were some disagreements about this one, but we'll go ahead and discuss that. But first, I'll leave the floor to you two and what you two got on this fight.
Hell, motherfucking yeah. P1 getting that redemption, making the comeback, getting vengeance against Hypershock. Was a spot in the top 32 it should have gotten last year. Some beautiful stuff, some great driving, and overall just doing a very good job.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite fights of the episode. I'd say either this fight or Hijinks versus Sawblaze was my favorite fight of the episode. Uh, yeah, good driving on both parts, to be honest. Brandon Zelinsky had some top tier strategies in this fight. Like, not using that weapon when Hypershock was upside down was, like, ingenious. And, like, yeah, it was a close fight, and while I'm sad one of my predicted semifinalists is down, it was a good fight, so, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely an excellent fight. This is one I've definitely been wanting, like a lot of other fans as well. Have been wanting this fight as well. Pory mentioned a lot of the reasoning behind that one, and this fight did live out pretty well. Brandon Zelinsky definitely gets a lot of props for me for his driving performance in this one, because yeah, he said his game plan is basically flip Hypershock over and just don't help them self-righting. Play it conservatively like that and stuff just to avoid damaging himself, and he did that perfectly. While I do think
Yeah.
that probably did cost him points on like the aggression side, I felt it was still enough to give P1 the decision
Yeah,
with
like,
what he
I
was able
mean,
to accomplish. And Hypershock, yeah, we saw some beautiful hits from Hypershock at the beginning, and like at the beginning they landed a few hits before they got flipped over, or just by running over the top of P1, and then that monster hit at the end that unfortunately killed the weapon on Hypershock. Yeah, my guess is with how long that weapon was trying to spin up while while hitting the floor like that was probably too much for the internals, but I haven't seen a damage report, so I might be wrong about that. But that's my guess. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the judge's decision. What everybody think about this? Because I have heard from I know there is disagreement on this fight. As yeah, Facebook group we've seen a few posts on people disagreeing with that decision, including in everyone, including everybody that watched this one except for me disagreed with the decision between the people I was watching the episode with on Friday.
Yeah, here's the thing. No, I agree with the decision completely. It was the right call. Hypershock got a few good hits in with its spinner, but like it didn't do a lot. You said maybe it was crab walking at the end of that, but I didn't see that. Maybe I gotta rewatch it. But I mean, for one thing, I would say over half the fight was Hypershock upside down, not able to self right. They got rid of the self righter, and then their bunny ears are clearly cosmetic, so they couldn't spin upside down. And that gives P1 control and aggression 2-1 easy. Um, Meanwhile, damage Hypershock did Hypershock 3-2 damage, but I mean Hypershock's weapon did die. Like it's not like it didn't take any damage. Like it definitely did in this fight. But yeah, this is it's a close decision, I guess. But P1 won.
Yeah, my opinion on the decision, damage, I'd go 3-2 Hypershock. If Hypershock ripped anything of note off of P1, like something to the extent of what Ribot ripped off in its fight against P1, or something to that extent, maybe a wheel or something. If Hypershock did something like that, I would have given it to Hypershock, but Hypershock P1 was still pretty much the same robot after the fight, so I can't really say that Hypershock gets a one-sided damage call, although it does win the call. Control and aggression. Control, I have to go 2-1 not 2-1 Hypershock, 2-1 P1. And I was debating actually going 3-0 control for P1 up until like those last 30 seconds were all Hypershock pretty much. Like the last minute was pretty much like 75-80% Hypershock. So I did go 2-1 control for Hypershock. And then aggression. While P1 didn't use the weapon, and in fairness that could kill aggression points, Hypershock was pretty much running away for the majority of the fight. So like that kind of cancels out P1 losing aggression with Hypershock being debatably even less aggressive in that fight. So I'm going aggression 2-1 P1 as well. So my decision is 6-5 for P1.
Yeah, mine is a little different and stuff how I scored it. Yeah, damage, I kind of agree with the judges, where apparently they all scored damage in favor of P1, where I'd give P1 the
Did they
edge in
really?
damage. Yes, all three judges scored damage in favor of P1, according to Chris and Kenny.
What? That's
Here's my
weird.
logic behind this. The only damage we really saw, at least that I noticed, was Hypershock's weapon dying. Like P1 did get sent flying a few times, which I do give Hypershock credit for, but they didn't really cause any real damage that was like noticeable to me. Like it is possible that maybe Civilian Arc was right that they were crab walking. Like I need to rewatch the fight and see if that is accurate, but
I it was like right at the
based off of what I saw, uh, like whether what Civilian said is true or false. False. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go damage 3-2 for P1. And aggression, I'm actually going 2-1 for Hypershock. Cause like the thing is,
oh.
there wasn't really much aggression from overall, like P1 was like going at Hypershock the right angle and stuff, but like the beginning and the end of the fight, there was quite a bit of aggression from both sides, but Hypershock definitely had more of it. But when Hypershock was upside down, P1 wasn't really being that aggressive either, I felt. Cause like although that was a good thing, because like P1 was just following their game plan. Like they didn't want to get damaged by a Hypershock's vertical spinner, because Hypershock was using the vertical spinner to try to self-right. But yeah, like that one's kind of in question for me, and that's why I and like Hypershock's better aggression in the two moments where they were not upside down is kind of why I'd give Hypershock the edge in that. And then control, like P1 would get the edge in control. Oh, like I agree with that one for with both of you. I'd go 2-1 for or P1 on that one with how much time that Hypershock spent upside down in that one. But I can definitely see the argument for why there are people out there that disagreed with this decision, because yeah, like you can make arguments for several of these categories for who should have acquired those points, I feel, and you could definitely have had points stack up in Hypershock's favor, so. But yeah, it was an excellent fight overall. Oh, like great driving performance from Brandon in this one, and he's definitely going to have a difficult one in the next fight, and he's going to need to be on
God.
his A game for that too. But we'll talk about out the fight to determine his next opponent later in this podcast. So, anything else on this fight, or should we get on to the next one? All right, we got this one. We got Scorpios and Malice. So, yeah, this battle between one of my King of Draft picks and Scorpios. So, yeah, Malice coming in with a similar configuration for this fight than what they came with for the blacksmith fight, which kind of makes sense because they probably wanted to add some extra top or bottom armor or to protect from Scorpios' spinner. And yeah, Malice definitely held up well in this fight despite losing their weapon pretty early in the fight. So, yeah, what are both of y'all's thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is kind of just a fight, I guess. I mean, like, I was kind of disappointed when Malice's weapon kind of just stopped after like the first two exchanges because like I wanted to see like an absolute slugfest to slug or not. I wanted to see Malice beat Scorpio so it could nay on Endgame. Uh, but yeah, we didn't get that unfortunately. But so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it, it, this is pretty much what I expected to happen in the fight happened in the fight. I mean, it was always going to be an uphill battle for Malice, and Scorpios just was very very aggressive, and it was fun though for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'm a little bit the same way. The fight did not go exactly how I expected it to, but the main difference was I did not expect Malice's weapon to die so early in that one. Like I was kind of like expecting like a 3-minute slug fest between these
Yeah.
two that Scorpios would control most of, because I felt Scorpios definitely had a design advantage in this one, and they're definitely a lot more capable of doing damage this season than they have been in previous seasons, and very good stuff. So, but it was a great driving performance from Zach Lytle in this one, and yeah, just to confirm, the smoke we were seeing out of Scorpios, belt smoke again. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen a damage report from Scorpios, but I feel that's almost certainly what that was. And so, not 100% sure, but I'm more sure than I would be in like previous fights, because like Scorpios seems to be having issues with that, and yeah, all their fights this season, and and that's probably what it was, I'm guessing. Malice,
Yeah.
Bunny did confirm, at least in one of the Instagram group chats, that the three of us and Bunny is in, that it was speed control. It was a speed controller issue for the weapon for what happened there. So
Every robot here in our group chat gets fucked over by the speed controllers, man.
yeah, but what I almost thought is I almost wanted to see Scorpios rip off of one of Malice's wheels, like. Mostly because like
I
they did show in the replays that they did get a shot right in between a wheel hub, and
Oh, okay, I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
but Scorpios definitely did a lot of damage in that one. I think they definitely won that decision. As yeah, I gave Malice 1 point in all three categories. That was about it, because I felt Scorpios had the brunt of almost everything else and dominated this fight. And yeah, I don't know if agree or disagree.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, Scorpios pretty much had every category in the bag. I mean, I don't see any way Malice could have pulled through after that, like, weapon loss. Like, at least with, like, in terms of something like Shatter, Shatter lost its weapon, but, like, if Malice can't do didn't do any damage, then, like, it didn't win, so, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too bad to see Malice go out like this, but it was great to see such an awesome fight between Malice and Blacksmith. And I imagine with whatever Battlebots is doing after this season ends, whether that's Bounty Hunters or something else, I bet we'll be seeing Malice again. So, yeah, anything else on this fight, or should we move on? As we know, later we'll get to Scorpios versus Endgame. Alright. Bloodsport and Minotaur, the fight that busted Civilian Arc's bracket even further.
This didn't bust my bracket more than Hypershock. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Well, you predicted Bloodsport to beat Minotaur, and yeah, you didn't believe
Yeah,
in the robot that I'm predicting to win it all.
why would I believe in, like, two mid-tier Brazilian bots?
Because Minotaur's not a mid tier, and neither is
Okay,
Black Dragon. So
What?
they
What?
couldn't even
Hold on, mid
they
tier?
couldn't
Bro, what? Are you
they
smoking crack
couldn't
right now, man?
they couldn't even knock out hypothermia.
Bro, are you smoking some crack right now, man?
you do realize also Minotaur turned down the power in their drum spinner for that fight, and
Excuses,
hypothermia is pretty durable.
excuses.
Yeah,
All I hear is excuses.
yeah.
I mean, you you smoking crack, man?
Yeah, he
Yep.
definitely is, like what he does when he makes his power rankings. So
Shut up! I'm not making.
All right,
My last power rankings were actually good. I don't want to
all
hear
right,
it.
all right, cracky. Anyways, this fight was very, it went kind of how I expected it to. Interesting choice on Bloodsport's weapon. I don't know how much better would have fared if it was like a solid bar instead of having like the teeth that are on it. But I'm not a builder, so I don't know the physics behind that. But I mean, Minotaur was just very fierce. I mean, Bloodsport has a few good moments too, and Minotaur's weapon did die at the end. But um, yeah, Minotaur, they're going to the semis, man.
Also, Green, you said I didn't believe in your predicted champ, but you also didn't believe in my predicted champ. So I don't
yeah,
know what you're getting at here, buddy.
yeah. So
Green doesn't smoke crack though.
that's true.
Isn't Iowa a crack state?
No,
It probably is, but Green's not a crackhead like you said.
Green's a pure
Well,
soul. No, I'm not a crackhead.
the big crackheads are the southeastern states, at
No,
least
those
that.
are the weed. Those are
I
the
mean,
weedies.
that's actually probably true. Green's probably right on that
Actually,
one.
those are the southeastern people. I'm a southwestern.
Or yeah, I meant southwestern, or just knowing the drug problems that we've had with Mexico is kind of what I was referring to.
Yeah, but Florida is southeast, so.
Yeah, I meant to say southwest. I had a brain fart there, so yeah. You got anything you want to talk about with this fight, Civilian Arc?
Oh yeah, this fight happened. Why the fuck would Bloodsport go with this weapon? Come on, man. I trusted you on this end. You didn't give back in return. You're like a toilet. You didn't trust me on this at all. And you know, maybe next time Bloodsport will go be cool and take out Minotaur and then take out Endgame, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards for them tonight.
The thing is, like, based off of the video that Bloodsport came out with, where they talked about this weapon choice, they're making it sound like what happened
They
in
owe
this
me money.
fight would have been inevitable or something like that if they came in with a because like they came in with this horizontal spinner. Basically, like they came up with this one because like they were very concerned that any other bar that they would possibly come with for a fight with Minotaur would bend, like pretty much like what we saw right there. And they also wanted to go with the new material and go for stability, which I'm guessing was the middle bit of it. Check out Bloodsport's video on that. Just check out their channel, and they did a video on this weapon, and you'd be able to see like the idea behind it. It kind of interested me with this one, but I did not expect Bloodsport's blade to both lose the teeth and bend upwards like that quickly. Like it was already bent after that first weapon on weapon shot. But definitely Minotaur did not come out of that fight unscathed, because we did see that some of their edges did take some damage. There were a few slices in there, but it was great stuff from Minotaur. Like that's gotta be their best performance of the season so far. But yeah, it was great. It was great showing. We got to see the power of that drum spinner, and I was concerned about this fight. Like I wasn't sure if my champ was gonna make it out of this one with the victory, and fortunately they did. And yeah, and then we get an epic fight for the second round. We'll take them out. Then we'll go to the top 8. We'll take out whoever that is. Then we'll go to the top 4, take out that robot. Then go to the
Yeah,
championship and
okay.
take out that robot. So
Wait, Riptid's not even in that quadrant. What do you mean predicted champ? That was Minotaur and Bloodsport, dude.
no, Ribot will get to the finals where Minotaur will wreck Ribot.
So you
mean,
For
I
an
guess-
easy championship,
Okay, base.
for an easy championship victory. Wait a sec, no. No,
Oh,
because Ribot's not gonna make because Ribot's not gonna make
I
it.
hear this. This is
Making
But
the finals.
the only way
wow,
that's gonna happen.
Wow. You heard it here first, all you Green Square Talks Battlebots fans. Green has Black Dragon either losing to Mad Catter or Ribot, one of the two.
Hey, I don't want to hear. You were ranting about
Wow.
how Bloodsport was gonna wreck Minotaur in this fight.
Yeah, but
And look who got
at
wrecked.
least I-
Minotaur
at least-
wrecked
at least-
Bloodsport in this one.
At least
And then
at least I
we're gonna wreck
at least-
Endgame, then we're gonna wreck Copperhead or Witch Doctor, and then we're gonna
least-
smoke either Uppercut, Sawblaze, Riptide, or P1, whoever gets to the top 4. And then we're gonna smoke whoever out of the 16 robots on the other side advances to the finals to win it all. But the only way it'll be Ribot will be if Mad Catter beats Black Dragon, because Ribot has no shot of beating Black Dragon.
Black Dragon has shown like no fork game whatsoever this season.
They have
wait,
to be.
Yeah, never mind.
So.
Never mind. They have shown fork game against Claw Viper, a bot that got under Black Dragon this season. Never mind. I apologize.
Yeah, Claw
for
Viper's
that.
got good ground game, and Claw Viper's a neat robot, so.
Claw Viper is a neat robot. That's actually very, very.
Claw Viper couldn't even beat Gigabyte, who Mantine was afraid would lose to Grabot, so.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Mantine, whenever Gigabyte faces anything that has a wedge on it.
Oh no, it's gonna lose. Wah!
Exactly.
That's gonna be civilian arc after Minotaur beats out every single one of his predicted champs.
You do understand that that means you're saying that Tantrum and Jackpot will both somehow make the finals.
Sure, we'll take out both of them at the same time.
Okay, you're not taking out both at the same time. Maybe one or the other, but you ain't taking out both.
I would probably have Minotaur beating either of them if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but would you have him beating both of them at the same time?
I'd have Ribot beating both of them at the same time.
Yeah, but you're just a favela.
Yeah, but remember when Green said that Ribot was gonna make the finals?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a
you
very
missed the
base
closing.
moment.
You missed the closing statement because Civilian Arc interrupted me, where I said the only shot that was going to happen is if Mad Catter beats Black Dragon. So
Which it will.
That was a pretty base statement, Green. I gotta be honest.
Yeah. Shout out to Green.
Yeah.
But Ribot's gotta get past Black Dragon and Jackpot first, but that ain't
Oh,
going to
easy.
that ain't going to happen. So because both
Yo.
both Black Dragon and Jackpot are neat robots. So
Ribot could,
They're neat.
Ribot could probably take down this year's Black Dragon, and depending on how Jackpot performs in the Tombstone fight, if it beats Tombstone, and if it wins the round of 16 fight, if it beats Tombstone, that'll probably decide what I do. Because, like, didn't Jackpot lose Drive to Malice, according to
yes.
Bunny or some shit?
Yep.
Okay, so
And,
I'm a
and
bit
yeah, and I
uncomfortable.
even rewatched the fight. You could see it too, right at the end
So,
there. Like Jackpot was crab walking during the countdown.
I
But
am a bit unconfident about Jackpot beating Ribot, I will say that.
yeah, but we'll pluck off some wheels
Nice.
first, and then Ribot will be in the exact same situation Malice was. So yeah, because we got lower ground, and then we got a more destructive weapon.
Okay, that's kind of true.
Wait, Jackpot or Black Dragon?
Black Dragon.
Both of them would.
Black Dragon does not have a better weapon than Ribot. That is such cap.
It might.
Yes.
But it has way worse ground game, so there's that. And Jackpot, call me when you got a robot that doesn't have collision wheels, you know.
Yeah, you should call me when one of your favorite robots can actually win against a 10-pound robot.
That's true. That's based as all hell.
Hey, Ribot kicked the shit out of Tracer's mini, but I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, Deadlift couldn't beat up Needle.
Yeah, but Deadlift could beat up Jackpot. What does that say about Jackpot? That means Jackpot would lose to a 10-pound robot, too.
But then Jackpot just absolutely wrecked Deadlift in that fight.
Yeah, but Deadlift...
And then we'd win in round 3. Easily.
Yeah, but Deadlift's neat, though.
Yeah, so Jackpot's neat. Like, the thing that makes Jackpot more neat is how they brought Needle back for this year.
I don't know. I don't know. Being a grappler in this day and age is kind of more interesting than putting a fingering robot on your team.
Base.
Of course, he'd say something like that, but yeah, we all know Jackpot and Black Dragon would both beat Ribot, so
no. Black Dragon would lose. Even Mantine thinks Black Dragon would lose. That's how much of a shot Ribot has of beating Black Dragon.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the next fight.
Yeah. Anyway, epic fight from Minotaur, epic performance there, and I bet we'll see Bloodsport once again later, or in whatever Battlebots has following the main competition. So let's move on.
Oh my god.
All right, Sawblaze and Hijinks. Unfortunately, my most confident pick of this episode, because yeah, I figured this was probably gonna be a tough one for Hijinks, and it definitely was. But I will give Hijinks a lot of props for making it the full 3 minutes in this one. And yeah, so Hijinks lasted longer than Mad Catter in a fight with Sawblaze, so.
Based.
Yep.
Anyway, but no.
Anyway, thoughts on this fight?
I was very, very impressed that Hijinks literally got like its motor ripped out and it was still driving around. Like that's some king shit or queen shit right there. Like
Pain.
that was based as hell, dude.
Pain. I wanted Hijinks to win, and it didn't. I hate that.
Pain.
Pain. Major pain.
Yeah. I wanted Hijinks to win as well, and then we'd make fun of Civilian Arc some more for trading Hijinks for Rampage.
Yeah,
and
hey,
kicking
hey,
refs,
hey,
so.
hey. You know, Green, speaking of Brazilian bots, I'd like to point out to you, Pory, and the podcast world that the Rampage team has won a main event before the Black Dragon team has.
Hey, Black
And I
Dragon
know,
won a main
and I
event
know
in
what you're
my
about to say,
series,
and I know
so.
what you're about to say. That's not the Black Dragon team. That's just a fucking robot in a Battlebots pack. The actual Rampage team was in Bashbots. The actual huge team was in Bashbots. So Rampage team won a main event before Black Dragon team did.
Yeah. I still count my series stuff,
Pory,
so. Guess
Pory,
what?
you're
Guess
the
what,
And
Civilian Arc? I don't care, so. Let's talk about the fight anyway, so.
Pory.
What are y'all's thoughts
what?
on this fight?
Trust me on this.
No. Yeah, it was neat. Shout out to Hijinks for being so resilient. You know.
The one time I want Hijinks to win, it doesn't.
Damn.
Yeah. It was too bad to see Hijinks go out, even though I kind of expected it, because Sawblaze is one of the worst possible matchups for Hijinks, I feel. Because Sawblaze is really
P1.
well designed to take on horizontal spinners, but yeah, we saw the debut of a new spinner by Hijinks, but unfortunately, I don't think it ever really got up to full speed. There were a few times it looked like it was trying to spin up, but it seemed to be down for a majority of the fight. Hey, which is too bad, because we didn't really get to see how much damage it was really able to do to Sawblaze, I feel, but yeah, and then Sawblaze, the plow took a lot of damage, but that was not from Hijinks' spinner. That was from Sawblaze striking itself by mistake. But yeah, I knew Sawblaze was gonna deliver a bunch of devastating hits, but like what Pory said, I didn't expect the Hijinks to still be running after, yeah, they had a lot of their internals ripped out on one side, and we saw the tail get sliced off, and more damage to Hijinks. Then they ended the fight on the upper deck, and that was right when clock hit 0, and they awarded the decision to Sawblaze, which I personally did agree with. I think that fight was probably about as dominated as Minotaur Bloodsport, as well as Scorpios and Malice was. So, yeah, anything else on this fight?
No, I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm betting we'll see Hijinks once again after the main competition is over, and Sawblaze, we'll see them in the next round where they're going to take on P1, and we'll discuss that matchup later in this video. So let's move on to the next fight now. Alright, I wasn't able to find a good image for this one, but this is the best I could come up with. Yeah, so we got Witch Doctor and Glitch. Nope, sorry, Witch Doctor and Mammoth. So we might as well talk about what occurred with Glitch. So, because a lot of people are wondering about that, and yeah, I've been seeing a lot of heat about how both Glitch dropping out and the fact that they were replaced with Mammoth, as other people thought there were better choices than Mammoth. So, yeah, so what ended up occurring with Glitch, as of my knowledge, I'll let my co-host add to it or dispute something if there's something I'm about to say that is incorrect, or if they can add on to it. You get the idea. But yeah, what it seemed like was Glitch took some frame damage in a previous fight, so they went on to a second frame. But apparently the fight was already delayed at a point, and eventually they were able to get it to where it was driving, but the weapon was not working. And yeah, so they wanted to move everything to the first frame or something like that. But then that would cause the fight to need to be delayed more, because apparently, according to their blog, it takes 40 minutes to take off all the nuts and bolts and all the pieces of armor, and yeah, just for them to mess with the internals. So it takes a lot of time for them just to be able to work and repair that robot and get it ready for testing and stuff, which is kind of crazy. But then at that point, when the weapon wasn't working and they were wanting to switch over to the different frame and wanting to switch over, you kind of get the idea. Apparently, they were given the choice to where they could either delay the fight to the next day, which Witch Doctor apparently rejected, which it makes sense their reasoning for that because Witch Doctor would have had to have 2 fights in one day if they happened to beat Glitch. Well, the other 2 options were they ran with no weapon or they brought in a substitute for this one, and yeah, the choice were the last 2 options. My guess is Battlebots ended up wanting to go with the substitute option just because they want a primary weapon and stuff. I think it's kind of like a rule you have to enter the arena with an active weapon, which Glitch
Yeah.
unfortunately did not. So it was sad to see Glitch go out like this, but yeah,
Yeah,
I hope we'll get to see Glitch back another season after they had a great regular season. So I'll go ahead and let my
yeah,
co-host talk about Glitch.
Yeah.
yeah. This is kind of bittersweet because on one hand, I can shit on Miles for the fact that his bot couldn't even make bracket, which means Mammoth technically did better than Glitch. But at the same time, I wanted to see Glitch take on Witch Doctor. I thought that would be a fun fight. I was pretty hyped for that fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bummer, but it just. And from what I've heard, it's not an isolated incident. Like Glitch seemed to have a history of doing this in a competition, and I can't blame Witch Doctor for not wanting to push one. It's not their fault that Glitch didn't have their stuff together. The team's got to be, the team's got to push and try to be ready as soon as possible. Just in case of stuff like this, and it is what it is. But Witch Doctor versus Mammoth kind of went the way I expected it to. It was like I pretty much expected it to be a quick win for Witch Doctor. But yeah, not much really to say about this one.
What you got in this fight, Civilian Arc?
Uh, this was a Witch Doctor fight. I mean, the thing I have a tough time with about Witch Doctor this season is that it's had a ton of like easy wins under its belt, and then it also has an Endgame. But like, I really want to see Witch Doctor take on a like high tier opponent again. So that's why I'm hyped for its next fight. So which I think either way it'll be a good fight. So. But yeah, this is kind of just like how I expected it to go, with Mammoth kind of just getting clapped. Not a fun way either. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too bad, unfortunately, for Glitch. If I didn't explain that well enough, which I completely understand because I do a poor job explaining things. Glitch posted a blog about that on their website, so check that out if you want to like know more about what was going on. But yeah, and so Mammoth swooped in and took their place, and this one take on Witch Doctor, hoping to take them out. And yeah, this fight, like what Pory and Civilian said, this fight kind of went how I expected. Pretty much Witch Doctor's strategy, according to the interview, is basically just not to get flipped, which kind of makes sense, because if they flip Witch Doctor, they can just swallow them up there and just control it for the full 3 minutes. And Michael lately did a great job driving this fight, getting right to those wheels on Mammoth, ripping them off, and then that was game over for Mammoth. So yeah, and so we'll see Witch Doctor advance, and they got a heck of a big name up next round, and it should be a great fight either way. And I imagine whoever wins that fight is going to be really proving themselves and making a big statement for themselves for whoever else makes it to the top 8. So yeah, excellent stuff. So anything else from this fight from you two?
No.
All right, let's go ahead and get on to the next battle then. Alright, so next up are the 2 YouTube exclusive fights. Unfortunately, this fight right here is my big take of the bracket, which unfortunately did not happen. but whatever. But
Hey, Green, remember that time you got to make fun of me because I predicted your predicted champ to go out round one? Well,
yeah,
it
but I
goes
wasn't
around.
ranting about how Lucky was going to beat Copperhead, like how you were ranting about how Bloodsport was going to wreck
You were,
Minotaurs. So,
you were
oh, I
ranting.
was not ranting. No shot at that.
I
Like,
was. All I said was that if I was right, that I get bragging rights, and you said the same thing basically. So,
no. No, that is not all that you've said. You were ranting
Pory,
on King of
Pory,
Draft to how Bloodsport is going to wreck Minotaur. You were ranting in the group chat, which Pory wouldn't be able to fully deny that one or accept that one since he's not in that one right now. But
Pory, when can I add you back?
We'll talk about it after the podcast.
Alright, sick.
anyway, this fight. So thoughts on it from you two?
Yeah, I mean the champ's doing good right now. It just took out Lucky, and it's vibing after that fusion fight. It's been hungry for some fucking rats after a little bit, so it decided to go against Lucky for whatever reason.
Wait, Rivot didn't fight Lucky or
Yeah,
Fusion? What are you talking
Minotaur
about?
fought Lucky, but they never fought Fusion.
Uh, you know what? You all, I don't speak Favelian, so I don't
Well, that's the
But
only
you
understand what
language
you're
you
create, but
do
you
saying.
speak.
created it because you're the biggest
Yeah,
favela in this.
that's your That's your
Yeah,
native language.
yeah, exactly.
My native language is not Favelian. It's freaking
Oh.
Hedriganese.
What?
But,
What?
but
What's wrong with you?
What?
what? What do you mean?
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. What?
Oh.
Says nothing. Anyway, Pory, how about you talk about this fight?
Um, it was like 3 minutes of Copperhead grinding away at Lucky. There's not much to really say. It was a fairly
Good
uneventful
grind.
fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
yeah.
But there's not much more to say.
Robert Cowan did a great job driving this fight. As yeah, it appeared it was him and Kimberly running the controls for Copperhead in this one, based off of what I was seeing, and yeah, Robert Cowan did a terrific job driving Copperhead because they knew about the driving abilities of Lucky so far this season and how great they've been. And they didn't want to get flipped, I'm guessing, and they did a great job keeping the front towards Lucky and landing hit after hit and popping off part after part. And it was great victor. It was a great victory by Copperhead, and we'll see them in the next round where they're going to take on Witch Doctor. So yeah.
What's wrong with you? What? Civ, what's wrong with you?
I don't even want to ask, so
You
unless
good,
if you guys have
buddy?
anything else left to say, we're gonna move on to the next one then.
Yeah, poor, I'm good. What's up?
You're wild.
Next fight it is. Alright, we got Huge and Uppercut for the next one, and
Oh, they're mating.
yeah, Huge also had a blog about this fight as well, and that they posted recently, and we got to see an interesting fight image, but I'm not going to reveal that on here. Just check if you want to see one of Huge's fights outside of the main competition, just check out that blog on their website. Hey, and yeah,
They're fighting redacted.
yep,
Yeah.
they're fighting redacted, but you can see who is in that redacted spot if you go to that site. So, let's go ahead and discuss this fight, you two. What do you two got on this one?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were complaining about how this fight wasn't in the episode in full, but the highlight pretty much showcased everything that happened in the fight anyway, because it was such a short-lived fight. You know, it was just a quick double KO. But yeah, just Uppercut gets some nasty hits, and I mean, Huge was definitely knocked out for like like a solid like 10-15 seconds before, like when Uppercut went for that last hit. Huge was more than likely dead at that point. So But yeah, there were a lot of very fun hits. It was a fun fight.
Yeah, definitely. What you got, Civilian Arc? Damn, is Civilian Arc dead or something? Must be from all that crack he's smoked.
He's talking crack right now.
Yep, that's what he's doing right now, rather than talking about Huge and Uppercut.
Sad.
Okay then, so if Civilian Arc's not going to talk, then I'll go ahead and discuss this one then. So, yeah, I was a little bit surprised myself this fight wasn't televised, but it kind of, in a way, like the fight I was really thinking of that I would have swapped with it would have been Mammoth and Witch Doctor, but the thing is like they'd spoil a lot of the drama involved
War.
with Glitch
Yeah.
if they didn't do something like this. But yeah,
Yeah.
this was an awesome fight as we got to see a huge weapon on weapon shot between the two of them. And like what Pory said, Pory mentioned this. I also think Huge should have been counted out first between the two of them because there was one of the next few big hits that Uppercut landed. Like Huge just stopped dead in its tracks and yeah, was motionless for like 10 to 15 seconds before Uppercut went in for another hit, flipped over themselves, and I'm guessing they lost a motor or something like that because
No, I Pory actually told me about this, and I rewatched the fight to confirm it. If you look closely at the end KO thing, you can see that Uppercut's tire is actually stuck on the wall.
or that. So that would
Yeah,
also
that was
make
my theory.
sense. And but either way, hey though, but yeah, it was a great showing. Like including like it probably doesn't matter to me too much that Huge didn't get counted out first because I felt the judges did make the right call in this one. Including I did hear from one person, forget who it was in King of Draft, who disagreed with this decision. And
But the decision was probably highly considered due to the fact that Hughes was knocked out first. That was probably like
yeah,
what made them do the decision in the first place. Like even if Hughes, killed up or not killed him, but like did a lot of damage to Uppercut, and Uppercut didn't do anything. I think they'd still give it to
David.
Uppercut because Hughes was dead first.
yeah, that's kind of what leaned me towards scoring that fight for Huge, or leaned me towards scoring that fight for Uppercut. Jeez, I'm full
Yeah.
of brain farts today. But if that kind of didn't happen, like that person would make a good case because like I would say Huge won that weapon on weapon shot between the two of them, and
Yeah, that was impressive.
yeah, yeah, because Huge went for reach with this one just to try to hit Uppercut before Uppercut could connect to them, along with going with the extra protection on the body after Switchback exposed that weakness in that fight. So yeah, it was pretty good stuff here. We'll see Uppercut in the next round where they're going to take on Riptide, and I'm betting that's going to be a really entertaining battle. Yeah, it's already confirmed. Earned one fight. We'll see at a Huge later, but check out the blog because yeah, for potential
It's an
spoiler
exciting one.
reasons.
Yeah.
I feel I probably wouldn't be spoiling anything by saying it here, but just to be
Just
sure.
in case.
Yep, just in case.
Yeah,
So,
you don't want to get sued by the NDA. They're persistent sons of bitches.
yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the last fight of the episode. Alright,
Zam.
Scorpios and Endgame. So, Scorpios coming off a victory over Malice and a play-in match to take on the defending champ. And I did laugh at yeah, kind of like the game plan or whatever you call it, part by Scorpios. I thought it was kind of
So dumb.
I thought it was entertaining how Zach was cheering about how they get to take on the defending champ in the first round, and then Diane's reaction to that. That was funny stuff. I love the Scorpios team. They're great people.
Yeah. They're fun.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and hear your thoughts on this one, from you
Um,
two.
I
yeah,
don't think I
about
need to
this.
say the obvious about this fight, but And
Yeah.
no offense to the Scorpios team when I say this, but this is kind of a pretty dumb fucking configuration. What irks me the most is that we've literally seen a configuration that's that's like similar to this, but like I don't. It's called the King Forks or something like that on their, and they've showed it on their YouTube channel. So they've had a configuration like this. So I don't know why they wouldn't put it up against Endgame in this configuration. I don't know what their plan was. My main guess is that they were trying to act like a two-wheel vert in this scenario.
Yeah.
My
I
guess
don't
is
know.
that they were trying to get to the tires easier and try and cut the tires up. That's my best guess, but I'm still not 100% sure that's the case.
Yeah.
What you got, Pory, if anything, on this fight?
I pretty much agree that the configuration it went for was probably not the best idea. It kind of reminded me of like how Beta went
Beta,
against the Verts.
bro.
I mean, I'm
You
not a
know,
builder, and I love Team Scorpios. I don't want to offend them, but what the hell, dude? Like, I would love to see them like with a configuration that could get under, and I mean, it would be hard to get under Endgame because they got the forks and all that, and they're very low bot, but it would have been it would have been fun to see them try at least. But
yeah.
yeah, not much more to say.
Yeah, so
But you know who
go,
would
go.
beat Scorpios though?
Deadlift, yeah,
And Rampage.
based.
Anyway, so I do kind of see the idea behind between those outside forks, but Endgame, I'm guessing they saw the configuration or something like that in the pits, because of those two long middle forks were pretty much a counter to that configuration. Because what I could kind of see is they were using, because if they went right up the middle, well, and stuff, I don't think they'd have a shot at winning the ground game. What it seems like is they were trying to get underneath Endgame from the outside or something like that. That was kind of the thoughts that kind of put into my mind in terms of what they were going for with that configuration. But like I said, I think Endgame hardcore countered that with those two middle forks right there just being longer than Scorpios so they were able to get underneath Scorpios before Scorpios could get underneath them. So, but yeah, I'm curious what caused Scorpios to be bouncing up into the air like that. Similar to like what we
Celery.
saw in Blip and Overhaul. Makes me think it's like an imbalance of weight or something like that. But I feel like that costed them the fight really, because yeah, like they bounced right into Endgame's weapon, and Endgame just hit them tons of times until Scorpios got stuck on the shelf. So, and that was about it for this fight. And yeah, so lots of stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
a few questions that I've kind of got with this one that I've mentioned in this, but yeah, it was a solid showing from the defending champ. And then they'll get a rematch in the next round where they can take on Minotaur, which should be an excellent fight. So yeah, anything else on this one, or should we get to the last part of this podcast?
Uh, yeah,
Do
we
you
can
have
get to the
another
last part.
All right, let's get to the
one?
last bit of this podcast. Normally we do power rankings at this point, but since we're in the postseason, it's kind of pointless to do power rankings, so we're going to do this instead.
Oh, I sent my power rankings to you, Green. Come on, man.
Yeah, and I told you we weren't going to be doing power rankings in that
Oh, I
first
had
one.
retrograde.
Wow.
I had retrograde in the list. We were gonna have a fun time.
Well, how about you could do a
Wow.
Battlebots What If podcast. What if we did power rankings after a Green Square Talks Battlebots podcast? So
No, that's stupid.
yeah, so we got our upcoming matchups. Like this won't be shown in the next episode because the next episode will feature the right side of the top 32 bracket. But following that, we'll get to see those four matchups as well as the four matchups they'll be confirmed after after the next episode. So yeah, so I figured we'd maybe discuss these four fights and showcase who we might be predicting or if we're on the bubble for any of these. So yeah, I'll go ahead and hear from you two first. What you two got on these four matchups that have been confirmed?
Okay. Minotaur versus Endgame. I'm gonna go Minotaur on that, but I'm not very confident in that matchup. Fight number 2. This is also a pretty tough one, but I'm probably gonna go Copper Cone because I don't know. It's Witch Doctor hasn't really wooed me this season because all their wins pretty much were like robots that I couldn't really see them losing to, so they haven't. And plus, that losing their weapon to Duck was got me a little skeptical. But Sawblaze versus P1, that should be a wash for Sawblaze, but like I would love to see P1 get the dub because I fucking love P1. Riptide versus Uppercut. It depends how well Riptide drives, because their weapon doesn't seem to be the most reliable, and like we haven't really seen it fight like a spinner really besides Huge, which was like which was pretty much just them knocking Huge into the screw and not really seeing what they do when they're encountered by a spinner. I'm gonna probably go Uppercut on that one.
Hi Bob. Okay, so Minotaur versus Endgame. I don't. I guess my main answer to this is I don't care, but my secondary answer to this is Minotaur, because
But that's your brand.
well, my brand hasn't paid me at all yet, so.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Endgame claps Minotaur. I mean, Bloodsport would clap Minotaur in a rematch. Let's be real here, but
No shot. No shot. Like the blade that Bloodsport bent to keep Minotaur from bending. Like how they were concerned that Minotaur would bend all their other spinners. Yeah, no shot.
I don't want to hear it. They should have gone with the disc. The disc is base. The disc is where
Well,
they
they
get
didn't
their
go with that
juice.
one for the reason I just mentioned.
Yeah, well, they should have gone with it anyway.
Yeah, except it sounds like it would have just gotten bent faster based off
That
of
doesn't sound like
what
my
I've heard from
problem.
that video. So,
That doesn't sound like my problem.
it'd be your problem when you're wrong for a second time if they rematch.
Okay. Second fight, I'd probably go Copperhead because Witch Doctor Witch Doctor has not done anything noteworthy in this season whatsoever. Like even in its wins, they haven't been all that good. Like Duck, for example, it lost its weapon to debatably the shittiest robot in the entire field, and then it had to fight the third shittiest robot in the entire field, and then it had to take on a mid-tier robot, and like the only single opponent they got is debatably the best bot in the entire field. So I don't, and Copperhead has been very consistent. I don't think that Copperhead. Here's my opinion on this version of Copperhead. I don't think that this season of Copperhead is really a knockout bot. I feel like it's more of a, oh, I'm just gonna fuck you up for 3 minutes straight and just take you to a decision. And I think that's where Witch Doctor's big struggle comes in, because like majority of the fights it takes to the judges are kind of shits itself. Well, I wouldn't say shit itself, but it kind of like gets worse over the passing of the fights. Like for example, like Witch Doctor versus Whiplash, where Witch Doctor was like top tier at the beginning of the fight, but kind of was like on the bubble at the end of the fight. uh, Hydra versus Witch Doctor, where Witch Doctor was like, I wouldn't say going strong, but it got some good hits on it, and then by the end of the fight, it was just smoking a ton. And this is like, I wouldn't say the worst version. No, this is definitely not the worst version of Witch Doctor, but I wouldn't say it's as good as like what we've seen from the 2019 Witch Doctor or even the 2020 Witch Doctor. So I definitely go Copperhead in this one. Sawblaze P1, I don't want Sawblaze to win, but it's gonna, unfortunately. Although if P1 wins, that'll be amazing. I love it so much. Riptide versus Uppercut. Uppercut has been so just. Here's the situation Uppercut is in. I don't think that Uppercut can really go the distance. I don't think Uppercut can really keep on going for like a straight like minute 30 or some shit. Like look at the fights it's in. Like ever since 2020, most of its fights have been like 1 minute wonders or stuff like that. Whenever it goes to like past a minute and a half, it usually loses. Like Minotaur, like Uppercut versus Ribot, it lost that fight, and that was like I don't know what like that was like about 90 seconds or something like that. Uh, and then like even in like 30-second KOs, it doesn't do good. So like the main question is Riptide reliable enough to stand up to the shots? My answer for that is I think so, but I don't think it's gonna be like one-sided. I feel like Uppercut's just gonna wail on Riptide for a straight minute, but Riptide will get a shot, rattles Uppercut's internals, and it'll be Riptide's fight from there. I'm predicting Riptide. So my four predicted quarter finalists for this side is Minotaur, Copperhead, Sawblaze, and Riptide.
Yeah, so anyway, my predictions with the upcoming matchups. Minotaur and Endgame, and I'm going Minotaur, but I'm nervous about that one. About as nervous as I was with Minotaur and Bloodsport, because I had no idea how the Bloodsport fight was gonna go, and including I have a lot of respect for Bloodsport, and that fight definitely did not go how I was thinking it was going to. But yeah, that's a rematch from 2019, from when Minotaur wrecked Endgame, and but both of these robots have evolved a lot since they fought during that season, including Endgame won a championship in between that moment. And like this that's a hard one to call. Like even with my talk about how Minotaur is gonna win it all, well, this is a difficult one to call. Like either one of these two, I feel could really take it. So, but my pick's going to be Minotaur, but it's a nervous one because I could definitely see Endgame taking this as well, just because like a weapon on weapon shot would almost certainly go to Endgame, and but who knows? We'll find out when these two fight, and yeah, 2 weeks from when the last episode premiered. Copperhead and Witch Doctor. Right now, I am on the bubble with that one because, like, I feel that one could go either way between the two of them. Because, like, I feel Copperhead's probably more likely to win a weapon on weapon exchange between those two. But if Witch Doctor gets the right hit on Copperhead, I could see them disabling the drum spinner and stuff. And which could be the end of Copperhead. Like, I think Copperhead probably has the edge right now, but if Witch Doctor gets the right hit, or if difficulties plague Copperhead, which I'm not confident that they will this time. I could be wrong about that. Hopefully I'm right about that, because like Copperhead's drive has looked great this season for the most part, and like I think this is probably a difficult one for Witch Doctor to win, but I could definitely see Witch Doctor taking it. But as of right now, my prediction for that one is probably going to be Copperhead, but I might switch to Witch Doctor to kind of support my bracket, which I had Witch Doctor in the top eight, but it'll be close. Sawblaze and P1 up next. Like Brandon's gonna need to be on his A game for that one, and yeah, he's either going to need to outdrive Jameson Go or win the ground game against Sawblaze. And like it's harder to win the ground game against Sawblaze than it was to win the ground game against Hypershot, because Sawblaze is one robot that like specializes in winning the ground game. And so I feel P1's probably would need to outdrive Jameson Go, because if they can avoid getting scooped up by those forks of Sawblaze can't drop the hammer saw on them, and P1 would just be able, if P1 can avoid the weapon, it'll just be an almost near repeat of Tantrum and Sawblaze last season, and where they were able to avoid getting scooped up, and yeah, avoid the hammer saw for the brunt of the fight. So Yeah, my prediction right now is going to be Sawblaze because I think Sawblaze will be able to scoop up scoop up P1, and Jameson Go's driving abilities will propel them, but I could definitely see P1 if they can taking this one if they can drive it perfectly. Riptide and Uppercut. This one we're gonna see a flurry of big weapon on weapon shots between these two. That's kind of what I'm seeing in this one because I bet Riptide's gonna be going for the weapon and we're gonna see some huge hits. The question is who can stand up to those hits better between the two of them. Because like both of them have had some concerns in my eyes in terms of how well they could take hits. Because like Uppercut lost drive against free shipping and got stuck in the huge fight according to Pory and Civilian Arc. And but then Riptide's kind of had a fair share of issues themselves with like losing the drum spinner. Like their drive has definitely been working great, but how well can they hold up against a big spinner? Because the only spinner bot they've fought so far has been huge, and that fight didn't last long. So we haven't really seen a big test for Riptide against a big spinner, and this will definitely be that test. But right now, my gut is telling me that one of Sawblaze and Uppercut is going to lose in the next round. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Uppercut in that one, but I might switch to Riptide. I'm a little bit on the bubble with that fight as well. And the other thing my gut's telling me is in the next episode, one of Ribot and Black Dragon's going to lose in the top 32, and we
Black
won't get to
Dragon.
see a rematch. And personally, to me, these two think it's going to be Black Dragon losing to Mad Catter, I think it could be either one of them, if not both of them, because Black Dragon's got a difficult opponent in Mad Catter who could definitely take that one. And then Ribot, we don't know who they're fighting yet, whether it'll be Defender or Hydra, but I feel if Hydra does manage to win against Defender, Hydra will give Ribot a serious run for their money in that fight. Right? But and then Defender, I feel Ribot would probably win that one again if those two fought again, but you never know because Jason Vasquez has been working on Defender a lot ever since those two fought, and I imagine he'll be a little bit like wiser to Ribot if you kind of get what I'm saying by that. So yeah, anything else on these four upcoming matchups?
No, just looking forward to them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of these. As yeah, I imagine we're gonna see several huge hits in all four of these matchups, and we're gonna see a lot of entertainment when we get to the top 16. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and close out this podcast. Thanks for checking out this podcast. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Check out Civilian Arc and Pory channels, where their channel links will be located in the description below. And yeah, I think you get the idea. So thanks for checking this out. I do not plan to do a prediction podcast next week because like my predictions for the next episode are going to be the same as what they were when I did my bracket predictions video. So if you want to see my predictions for the next episode, check that out or find my bracket somewhere, whether it's checking out that bracket predictions video or check out my Instagram post where I posted what my bracket predictions are if you want to see who I'm going for in all those. But I will bring back the prediction podcast when we get to the top 16, since we'll have 8 matchups, and only 2 of these matchups I predicted in my bracket. And so might as well make predictions on all the ones that I didn't get correct. And even if I flip sides on who I'm going for those. So you get the idea. Anyway, thanks for checking out this podcast, and I'll hopefully see you next time.